before we even get marriage, I think we're also set up for failure, because it's like, I want to marry him because he makes me happy and he does this for me and he does that for me and all of those things. And we have the list of who we want and who our wife's going to be and who our husband's going to be because of all the things that they do for us. And we're going to spend our lives happily ever after and all that stuff, when it should be the opposite. In like, no, I want to marry him because I just want to be with him for the rest of his life. Every day that he wakes up, I want to be next to him. I want to be the one that makes him happy. I want to be the one that serves him. I want to share my life with him.
I was going to say, let's take it higher.
Yeah.
I want to serve him.
Yeah.
I want to serve him. And maybe that makes a woman's flesh scream, you're not ready.
Yeah.
I remember when Sarah called Abraham Lord. I don't know the original meaning of the word, but she called him Lord. And I'm not saying that you need to call your husband Lord or your wife Lord, but what I'm saying is that there's just something about two people that are bent on serving each other.
Absolutely.
That is much better than two people bent on being served.
Oh yeah. So,
trigger warning.
This idea, I fully support, and it goes against our very nature. I think naturally we're designed to figure out ways to get our needs met.
Yeah, I agree.
We seek out people, places, things that make us feel good, that meet our needs. I don't think that most of us are created in such a way that our first thought is, how can I meet a need? We want to meet needs after all of our needs are being met. So even when we give to, less fortunate, we give out of abundance most of the time. And that's not everybody. Some people, shirt off the back, even if I don't have another one.
Right.
But I'm speaking of what the majority of the people that I've had experiences with give out of abundance. After my bills are paid and I have everything that I need, I have this left over, I will bless people with it.
Right.
They will give the first fruits. They'll give a tithe, and then 90%. If you don't need all the 90%, you can bless some other people with what's left over.
Correct.
In this situation, you have to go into the marriage, into the relationship with the idea, I'm going in to serve. I am posturing myself as a wife and as a husband, but I'm a woman. So I'm posturing myself as a wife to go in. Let me see if I can outlove him.
Ooh.
That is the most beautiful competition known to man. If you can get two people, because it has to be both. If you have one, it's like, ooh, she trying to outlove me. I'm going to let her win every day. Then it won't work right.
Right.
But if you have two people on board and their goal is to, I'm going to bend over backwards to outlove my spouse, to outgive, to outserve, then it's a win-win.
I definitely 100% agree. 100% agree that it works better when you could, I won't say compete, but you try to serve one another, outlove the other person, then it just works. Things fit better. Problems don't hinder as much when you're both about serving each other.
But this is in theory.
It's in theory.
It sounds
in
good.
theory. It is.
But baby, that's hard.
It is.
You don't want to do it.
It is.
You don't want to outlove. You really just
You
want
do
to
not.
get outloved. Like you want him to love you more. You want her to love you more.
Absolutely.
Or especially serving.
Yes.
It's so easy.
The big thing. I know, speaking for majority of men, that is our thing. We are taught that your woman is supposed to serve you, honor you, cater to you, and that's usually what we're looking for. And then if she makes us feel good, makes us, look good, then you're like, man, I got a good woman. Let me do something for her. After she's done everything to try to please you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go even further. We tend to brag to other men about, man, my wife do this, my wife do that, before we've even done anything. And if we say we're serving our wife, man, we get called everything, hen-picked, simp, whipped, all of those things, when that's not the case. You should not. Like, that's why it's good to get around other solid married couples with emotional intelligence and a good mindset of how marriage works, so that you don't fall for that societal flaw of letting yourself be loved and pleased and served first before you then reciprocate. The reciprocation should be natural. It shouldn't even take reciprocation. You should want to go out and give and please first.
So you should want to, but do you?
No.
Do you want to?
No.
So if it's not, so that
No,
means that
no.
this type of service doesn't come from a place of want to.
Mm-hmm.
This comes from a place of decision.
Come on.
In your
Intentionality.
decision, intentionality.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wait till you feel like it. You can't wait till the relationship has progressed to a place where you're so in love that you just want to. That's not the origin of this type of service. This type of service is a choice, an intentional choice. Now, where we get caught up in serving is still keeping the focus on us, because that's how we are. We are self-centered. We want to serve how we want to serve, not how they want to be served.
Ooh.
Which brings us back to love languages.
Ooh, preach.
So a lot of the men that we work with, they want to serve their wives, but they want to serve them sexually.
Well, that physical touch, baby.
If you do all these things for me,
yes,
I'm gonna pay you back by knocking your back out.
Yep, that's.
Or I'm gonna, in addition to knocking your back out, I will protect you. If somebody says something sideways to mine, I got you. I'm gonna knock his teeth out. So he, in his mind, picks out these ways that he wants to serve. Women, we do the same thing. Come to the table. Whatever your list is, we have a list.
Yep.
I want to serve you. I hear women like, ooh, I can't wait to cook my man breakfast. We might want to cook. Or we might want to keep a house clean because you want to live in a clean house. But what if he said the way he needs you to serve him is he wants oral sex regularly? Like, you have to be open to serving your partner the way they want to be served, not what's most convenient for you. So that's a trick right there. You say, I'm willing. You're willing to do the things you want to do. But what about that laundry list of things that they need and want that you don't necessarily want to do? Will you make the choice? Because it's not coming from a place of want to.
Yes.
You might want to cook because you want a piece of salmon too.
Right.
You want to clean because you want to smell lemon and orange and cinnamon.
Yes.
But do you want to do all those other
and
things?
then play it off. I'm doing this for you. Well,
right.
Partially.
Are you though?
Partially.
You know, I'm buying you gifts. You buying me lingerie, sir. So you can look at things jiggle. You know?
Facts.
So
Facts.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's got to be. And we say it all the time. If you follow us, you know, you've heard the story of how my wife's love language shifted. And boy, talk about
it.
Adjusting to that. I mean, at first, she was all about the physical touch, and I said, whew, I can handle this. And, you know, feel pretty confident in that area. I love what we call rubbing and touching and rubbing.
And still, even then, even when he's telling the story, he's equating physical touch to sexual touch.
I am.
There is a difference.
I am.
Just because your partner's love language is physical touch does not mean they want you to sex them 3 times a day. Every touch doesn't need to be sexual touch unless sexual touch is their love language. But if it's just physical, you're going to have to be able to decipher and not expect sex every time you touch your partner.
Listen, I'm sick of this when she said every touch didn't want to be sexual touch. My wife did not mind sexual touch.
Because my love language at the time was sexual touch.
Right.
All I'm saying is if you say physical.
Right. Sometimes it did. For some reason, it switched off to where it wasn't always sexual.
You said for some reason. Don't you want to tell the reason?
I mean, I'm trying to remember.
I had 2 babies.
Well,
and now my workload is different.
Right.
So what he wanted to do was keep the workload. He wanted me to take on these 2 babies, see about them, continue to see about all of the house, and do all these things, and be his little sex goddess.
and so Then her love language, then acts of service turned out to be more of a love language. Help me. Like, wash these clothes. Hey, help put the dishes up. Hey, can you know how to make a few things. Can you cook on the grill? Can you make your famous hamburger helper? And yuck. Yuck. Acts of service. Ugh. And then, but I had to change that mindset. Like, you know what? Man, she really feels love. Like, she really felt love. It wasn't more of a just do it so it relaxes me. Like, she really felt cared for, not just as she asked, but as a routine. Like, I started just doing it. When I saw it just do it, man, the response was beautiful. So I had to recognize then that, you know what, serving her has now taken a different role. It takes an adjustment on me because, again, my vow, her happiness is my priority. This is making her happy. This brings her joy to be served this way. And in reciprocation, she learned to serve me even better. Like, it's, man, that hand in hand is beautiful. Yeah, because,
okay, so transitions. We've talked about this before. Ed's basketball coach. I didn't have children, and when we first got married, so I played basketball. I've coached basketball. I know a whole lot about it. I know about strategy and everything. So I was able to support him and his coaching career in a different way in that first season of marriage. Going to every game, I kept his books for him. You know, we talked about the game afterwards and breaking down what was right, what wasn't right. I gave a whole lot of input. Fast forward to now, when I have 2 small children, still trying to show up to the game, to get them there with these strollers and diaper bags and pumping milk. And when you get here, I'm definitely not able to keep the book. And he's asking me questions about the game. I don't know.
She was like,
I didn't see it.
I said, man, what'd you think about that last play?
I didn't see a play. I didn't see anything. I was in the place, and I'm keeping this one from running up the stairs, and this one is crying.
This was throwing basketballs on the court.
Yeah, he puked on me. Or he pooped out of his diaper. I had to go to the back. Like, these are real stories. So
yeah, this is not made up.
My ability to help with what he's doing has transitioned. So how can I show up for you with what I have, the cards I've been dealt? If you need me to support you in this area, how does it look now? That's the kind of things that you have to talk through.
We had to talk through that, and we came with some great happy mediums.
Well, it took some time. Please don't think we sat down one time, had a conversation. It was like, oh, this is where we're going to be in the middle. No, this is month after month after month of him saying, this is what I need from you, and me saying, this is what I have the capacity to give. Where can we give and take? Trial and error until we got a happy medium with. Still
have it.
Yeah, in some other places in there.
We still have it.
We're still working on that.
Because like we said, we put our lives out there to let married couples know that this is an ongoing process. Is never mastered, so to speak, but it's always fun in mastering certain aspects so that you make your marriage better.
I agree. The one area where I feel like you should definitely prioritize getting a common ground is sexually. And the reason I say that is because the Bible warns against not being on the same page sexually. It's not good to go so long because you open your marriage up to temptation. That's not me. That's Bible.
Right.
So if that's an area where you are not in agreement, then definitely prioritize that and make sure that you're on the same page sexually.
I want to go back to the original video and let's talk to the triggered, and I'm going to say it, women that will hear serving your man and think, are we going back to the 50s? Are we going back to the 60s? Why do we got to serve? We both, it should be, partners now. Why is it always got to be serving? Because she was the one doing more of the talking.
Yeah, both people should be serving.
No, I feel you.
Oh, I
but-
thought you had something.
No, I'm just saying you don't think women will be triggered by hearing the word serve the husband, even though you say both people should be serving. Like, is serve still a trigger word? Some people may even see it like serving shouldn't be the right word. They'll see it as well. Everybody should just do their part. Like, no, serve. It should be
It should
serve.
be served.
Serve should be.
If
the
you
word,
triggered, I
like-
agree with him. You're not ready.
Right. That's kind of what
Yeah.
I'm getting
If
at.
serving if the idea of serving your husband as his wife is triggering to you, then you might not be ready to be a wife yet.
Okay.
Because that's the calling.
Ooh.
Same
Come
thing.
on.
If as a man you're not ready to serve and sacrifice
That's key.
sacrifice for her above what it is that you want and your agenda and the things that make you feel good, if you're not ready to lay at the altar and die for her daily, that I'm not even talking about a physical death.
No.
I'm talking about die to yourself
Talk
for the
about that.
things
Talk
that
about
your
that.
wife needs. And
Ego.
if you're not ready to die to that, then you're not ready. Service, sacrifice,
Facts.
period.